That night, as I was getting ready for dinner, I asked Nathan what he wanted to eat. Normally, a child would mention their favorite food like hamburgers or fried chicken, but Nathan seemed hesitant. It was more like he was puzzled by my question rather than being shy. "What's the matter? You can tell me what you like. Grandma will make anything for you." Despite my assurance, he didn't answer, so I felt like pressing any further would seem like I was blaming him. So I just told him to watch TV in the living room while he waited. I decided to prepare something that kids generally like and called Nathan to the dining table when it was time for dinner. However, Nathan didn't seem willing to sit down at the table. "What's wrong? Don't you want to eat?" Nathan shook his head vigorously in response to my question. "Then why?" Nathan looked at me with a puzzled expression and asked,
"Grandma, is it okay for me to eat today?"
I was so shocked by his question that I doubted my own hearing, thinking I might have misunderstood him. But when I asked again, Nathan's response confirmed that I hadn't heard wrong. "What? Is it okay for you to eat today? You're supposed to eat 3 meals a day, right?" Further questioning led to Nathan suddenly running out to the garden and starting to pull weeds. I was astonished by his sudden strange behavior. I stopped him from pulling weeds, hugged him, and brought him back inside.
"Why? Why do I have to stop? I'm hungry."
"You're hungry, right? That's why I prepared this meal for you. So why start pulling weeds?"
"Because Mom always says I shouldn't eat without helping out."
I was taken aback by Nathan's unexpected words and decided to ask for more details, which led to a shocking revelation. When I was 22, I fell head over heels for a man who transferred to my department from another region at the company where I was working. By chance, our homes were close, and we eventually started meeting up to go home together, even when our work schedules didn't align. One day, on a packed train ride home, I felt my heart racing as he protectively placed his body close to mine. In a moment of courage, surrounded by people, I whispered, "Would you go out with me?" Holding the sleeve of his suit, my eyes teared up from embarrassment as I confessed my love. I must have looked so sly at that moment. But he blushed and said, "Yes, Susan," and kissed me without caring about the people around us, marking the start of our relationship. Things moved quickly from there. We started living together, got married within a year, and were blessed with a child. We named our child Michael, fulfilling my dream of a happy family life. It was a moment of pure bliss. However, that happiness didn't last forever. When Michael was 3, I started to suspect my husband's late return home. With help from a friend who worked at the same company, we investigated his infidelity. I discovered he was leaving work on time, but was seen going to a hotel with a younger female colleague. That was the first time I realized his late nights were due to him meeting this woman. Clear evidence of an affair. Confronted with undeniable proof, he admitted to the affair. I felt like our happy marriage was nothing but a 4-year-long play act. I threw our rings and the divorce papers at him, taking Michael and leaving him behind. As a single mother, I worked hard to balance my job and household, raising Michael. Seeing my efforts, Michael, even as a child, did his best to help around the house to lessen my load. I remember crying at a school event when he wrote in an essay that his dream was to make life easier for me. Now, Michael is 27 and has grown into a fine adult, ready to introduce his partner, whom he wants to marry, to me.
This is Mary. Mom, I'm thinking about marrying her.
Mary, with her clear and confident manner, made a good impression on me without showing any signs of intimidation. Michael, if this is the person you've chosen, I won't oppose it. She seems very articulate and nice. Why not?
Really? So, you're okay with us getting married?
Yes, but make sure you two are happy, okay? She seems like a great catch.
I know. Mary, let's build a happy home together.
Yes, thank you, Susan.
From my perspective, Michael and Mary seemed like a perfect match, and I gave my blessing for their marriage, sending them off to their bright future. Congratulations on your wedding, Michael, Mary. Tears of joy and a bit of embarrassment flowed at their wedding, reviving memories from the past. A year after their joyous wedding, the lovely couple welcomed their third family member, Nathan. Being there with Michael for Nathan's birth and crying tears of joy was an incredibly beautiful memory. Michael, who adores children, cried even more than Mary, who had just given birth, which was a delightfully heartwarming scene for a mother. A few years later, I received a call from Michael. He mentioned he was going on a solo business trip and asked if I could occasionally check on Mary and Nathan during his absence.
I think it'll be fine. Nathan's at that age where he's becoming quite the handful, and I'm worried. So, it doesn't have to be every day, maybe just once a week.
I understood Michael's concerns. Michael was quite a handful as a child himself, always running off the moment you took your eyes off him. It'd be a big challenge for any mother to take care of him during those energetic and sensitive years. While Michael managed on his own until now, being away on a solo assignment made him understandably anxious. All right, since you asked, I'd love to see Nathan, of course. With that, Michael left for his assignment, and I planned visits to check on the two every weekend. Feeling a bit awkward about showing up empty-handed, I packed some of Nathan's favorite snacks and some homemade dishes for them. Upon ringing the bell and letting them know I had arrived through the video intercom, Mary greeted me at the door amidst the sound of bustling footsteps.
What? Susan, what brings you here today?
Well, Michael's been really worried about the two of you while he's away and asked me to check in.
Oh, I see. It's a bit messy, but please come in.
Though Mary seemed a bit flustered at first, it's understandable given the almost unannounced visit. Inside, Nathan, who was drying, greeted me with a smile. Reuniting with Nathan, who had naturally grown taller and had lost his baby-faced cuteness for a more boyish mischief. Here, I brought some snacks and homemade dishes for you to enjoy.
Well, thank you. Michael really worries too much. Susan, please make yourself at home today.
Taking up Mary's offer, I spent a wonderful day playing board games and card games with Nathan and watching his favorite cartoons. For dinner, we filled the table with the dishes I brought and some that Mary and I cooked together. Starting to eat, I felt a slight unease at Nathan's eagerness, reminiscent of the starving children I've seen on educational programs. Though I knew it couldn't be the case with Mary as his mother. It was inconceivable he wasn't being fed properly. Nathan, no need to rush. Your food isn't going anywhere. Despite my words, Nathan seemed too focused on his meal to listen.
Nathan's been like this around mealtime recently. I guess my parenting must be at fault. I'm sorry.
Well, he's growing. Kids need to eat a lot at this age, don't they? Feeling reassured, I shared some of my dishes with Nathan. After dinner and cleaning up with Mary, I played a bit more with Nathan. Before it was time for me to leave, months later, I received an unexpected call from Mary.
Susan, I'm sorry for the sudden call. It seems Michael has fallen ill while away. Could you look after Nathan for a bit?
I'm fine with it, but is Michael okay? Should I come instead? Despite offering to help, Mary insisted on not troubling me and left Nathan in my care. I can understand her concern for her husband's safety. I promised to look after Nathan while she took care of Michael. Mary emphasized contacting her if anything happened, as she might not be reachable while nursing Michael. Though puzzled, I respected her wishes, comforting Nathan and watching Mary leave for Michael.
Is Dad okay?
Don't worry, Dad will be okay. He's always been strong. Plus, Mom's with him. Comforting Nathan, I brought him back to my place, deciding to make this brief time a series of enjoyable memories, despite feeling a bit bad for Michael. Nathan, once we're at Grandma's, how about we play with some toys I used to play with? I've always taken good care of things, including toys from my and Michael's childhood, recently cleaned for Nathan to play with.
Really? I want to play. Yay!
Seeing Nathan brighten up at the mention of old toys relieved me, after his previous worried expression. We arrived at my house and spent a leisurely time playing with nostalgic pieces and board games, and watching cartoons that Nathan wanted to see. That evening, as I was preparing dinner, I asked Nathan what he wanted to eat. Normally, a child would name their favorite food, like hamburgers or fried chicken. But Nathan seemed hesitant and puzzled rather than shy. What's wrong? You can tell me what you like. Grandma will make anything for you. Since he didn't answer, and I felt like pressing him further might seem like I was blaming him, I told him to just watch TV in the living room while he waited. I decided to prepare a meal that kids generally enjoy and called Nathan to the table when it was dinner time. However, Nathan didn't seem willing to sit down at the table. What's wrong? Don't you want to eat? Nathan shook his head vigorously in response to my question. Then why? Nathan looked at me with a puzzled expression and asked,
Grandma, is it okay for me to eat today?
I was so shocked by his question that I doubted my own hearing, wondering if I had misheard. But when I asked again, Nathan's response confirmed that I hadn't heard wrong. What do you mean? Is it okay for you to eat today? You're supposed to eat 3 meals a day, right? Further questioning led to Nathan suddenly running out to the garden and starting to pull weeds. Surprised by Nathan's sudden strange behavior, I stopped him. I hugged him and brought him back inside.
Why? Why do I have to stop?
You're hungry, right? That's why I prepared this meal for you. So why start pulling weeds?
Because Mom always says I shouldn't eat without helping out.
Hearing such unexpected words from Nathan again, I decided to ask for more details, which led to a shocking revelation. After Michael left for his solo business assignment, Mary apparently started to impose on Nathan the need to help around the house and be a good boy, withholding meals if he didn't comply. Nathan shared how he would look for any food left in the house when Mary was out, or wait until she returned if there wasn't any. Tears of sadness flowed uncontrollably as I remembered my visit to Mary's house. At that time, she mentioned Nathan eating a lot because he was growing. However, I realized he might not have eaten until that point. I wondered why I hadn't picked up on the signs and acknowledged Nathan's true feelings sooner. Filled with regret and self-reproach. At the same time, I felt a surge of anger towards Mary. Listen, Nathan. You might not understand now, but what your mom is doing is wrong. You're allowed to eat well regardless of whether you've helped out or been a good boy. You're going to grow up, okay? After reassuring Nathan, I got him to sit down and we enjoyed a hearty dinner together, followed by watching cartoons and sharing watermelon for dessert. After making sure Nathan had fallen asleep, I texted Michael to inform him of the situation, urging him to contact me once he was well. Though Mary had asked me not to contact her, I felt that promise could no longer be kept. Michael called back immediately after my message. I was relieved since I was worried Mary might have been controlling his phone due to his supposed illness.
Mom, what's all this about? Nathan not being fed while I'm away.
It's just as I messaged. Isn't Mary there with you?
What? There's no way Mary would be at my work assignment. I told you to look after them before I left.
A discrepancy emerged in the story Mary had told. Mary left saying she was going to take care of you because you were sick.
Sick? I haven't been sick at all. Besides, I would have contacted you if anything happened.
Indeed, that made sense. If anything were wrong, Michael would have reached out. But this time, without any prior notice from Mary about being sick, something felt off. The idea that she couldn't contact because she was nursing him, insisting I not reach out to Michael unless I initiated it, seemed like an attempt to keep us apart, hiding something.
Actually, I just remembered Mary told me not to come home, even if I got a long holiday. Maybe, just maybe.
Finally, we both realized that Mary had been lying to us. Sharing with Michael everything Nathan said about Mary going out at night revealed many surprises for him. Michael's anger towards Mary was palpable over the phone. After hearing everything, Michael said he would take leave the next day to return to Nathan, ending our call for the night. The next morning, Michael arrived first, coming to my house. Seeing Nathan, he teared up slightly and hugged him tightly.
Welcome back, Dad. What's wrong?
Nathan, I'm sorry for being such a failure of a father.
It seemed Michael had made up his mind after yesterday's call, determined that divorce was the only option from someone who would treat Nathan this way while going out at night. From Nathan's account and the absence of Mary, it was likely she was having an affair, taking advantage of Michael being away on business. Michael conducted a search for evidence at home, checking Mary's room and places where items could be hidden. Although no physical evidence was found, a check of the PC history revealed hotel reservations made for 2 suggesting nights spent away with someone else, enough to suspect an affair. Based on this evidence, Michael hired a detective agency to investigate further. A week later, unaware that Michael knew everything, Mary contacted me, saying she would return the next day, since Michael's health had improved. I immediately forwarded this to Michael, who took leave to wait for Mary at my house. Unaware, Mary walked right into what would become a battleground.
Nathan, I've come to pick you up.
The door opened to an angry Michael, and their eyes met. I locked the door to prevent Mary from fleeing and led her to a room to talk.
I've heard everything from Nathan. While I was away, you didn't even give him a proper meal.
Michael confronted her furiously, but Mary, avoiding eye contact, muttered it was discipline. Angered by her attitude, Michael presented further evidence from the detective's investigation and the hotel reservations, demanding a divorce and custody of Nathan.
You can't be trusted with Nathan. I can't stand the thought of something happening to him.
Wait, that's unfair. It wasn't like I enjoyed doing this.
So what? You were blackmailed into it. Spending time in hotels with someone you don't love, just like in a soap opera. Too convenient.
It's been hard for me too. You were away, and I was stressed, taking care of everything and Nathan all by myself.
Mary confessed that the stress of managing everything alone, while Michael was away, led her to take her frustrations out on Nathan and seek solace in an affair. Michael, driven to despair by her manipulative tone, threw down photos of a man on the floor. A man Nathan mentioned, but Michael only now learned about, revealing Mary had been sneaking out at night and had been seen happily chatting with a boyfriend when Michael couldn't make it home from work.
With all this evidence, can you still say the same? I'm telling you once more, we're getting a divorce, and I'm taking Nathan's custody. Got it?
Fine, do whatever you want. I'll marry someone who truly loves me.
Quiet. I told you, I won't say it again. How pathetic.
Mary, red with anger, struggled with the lock for a moment before storming out. Nathan looked like he wanted to stop her, but I held him back. I shook my head firmly when he looked at me questioningly.
Dad, did you and Mom fight?
Nathan, confused, looked at Michael.
Listen, Nathan, it might be hard to understand, but your mom and I didn't just fight. We're saying goodbye. But from now on, we'll live happily together, just you and me.
Michael tried to spare Nathan any further stress, smiling and gently patting his head. As I watched, I resolved to support them as much as I could. Later, additional investigation results showed Mary's affair partner was married, leading to a significant settlement demanded by his wife. Mary, abandoned by her lover, who chose to reconcile with his wife, attempted to reconcile with Michael, but was met with a restraining order. Michael, realizing he couldn't leave Nathan alone, switched to a remote job and decided we would all live together at my house. Nathan, initially puzzled, adjusted over time and now knows the house better than Michael, often helping him find things like nail clippers. I ensure Nathan never goes hungry again, preparing warm, homemade meals for us to enjoy together, ensuring a happy and nourishing environment for Nathan. We're committed to making sure Nathan's future memories are filled with warmth and love from his family. Today, as I prepare another delicious meal, seeing Nathan and Michael happily eat fills me with joy, knowing they are content